Welcome to Creating Canon with your hosts, AJ Hamilton and Nick Pappas.
Nicholas C. Pappas.
Oh, God, yes. Nicholas C. Pappas.
Thank you.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Hey there. This is Creating Canon. Like I said,
Our official, I think,
Our
first episode.
truly first episode about one of the movies that that was created by these two fellows.
Yes.
Menachem Golan.
Menachem Golan.
Yep.
And Yoram Globus.
Yoram Globus, yes.
And today we are discussing a movie which actor Ronnie Cox said about the script remains to this day the finest script that he has ever read, followed up by how these guys messed that film up. I will never know.
Ouch.
And that
okay,
film,
that's
of
throwing
course,
some shade.
Yeah, seriously. And that film, of course, is Captain America.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Lovely.
1990 Captain America.
Oh, so not the Chris Evans.
No, not the Chris Evans movie. No.
I didn't remember Ronnie Cox in that.
The Chris Evans
Okay,
movie.
gotcha.
I would say this is superior in some ways.
I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're a fool.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
true.
So what does this follow?
So,
Like, what happens in this one?
yeah, so like, I'm sure we're going to discuss at length and
Of
ad
course we will.
nauseum
Yes.
what it actually is.
Naturally.
But to give like the quick version,
Yes.
it follows like the basic Captain America story where during World War II, a young Italian boy is forced into being Red Skull.
Sure, that stands.
Right. And then on the other side of the world, Captain America is Steve Rogers becomes Captain America.
Ah, gotcha. Old polio legs.
Yep, old polio legs. He becomes a super soldier.
Sure.
And he races to Germany to stop the Nazis from launching rockets.
That makes sense.
Yep. He then is frozen in Alaska
Oh,
up until the 1990s.
Hate when that happens.
Absolutely. And he reawakens to find that Red Skull has now changed his identity
No.
to an Italian businessman.
Naturally.
Who is planning to kidnap the President of the United States and essentially control the President of the United States into doing everything that he wants. And
no.
that Red Skull is the leader of a secret society.
Makes sense.
Who basically is plotting to take over the world. Captain America.
Captain America, 1990. Nothing to do with MCU.
No.
This was
not
the
at all.
Marvel Entertainment Group
Yes.
back in the 90s.
Yeah.
After they had made
Punisher.
and the shitty Spider-Man, right? Didn't they make the Spider-Man too?
I don't think that actually... Was that ever actually made?
Not through the canon.
canon.
But wasn't a Spider-Man made? A really, really bad Spider-Man made?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There was
I've
a
never
Turkish
seen it.
Spider-Man.
Ooh, a Turkish Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
that
I don't
might
think
be worth
it was ever made.
Okay, fair enough.
I
fair
don't
enough.
think it was actually ever made.
No, but they had tried to buy the rights to Spider-Man.
Yes. They actually own the rights. They just never actually got the
interesting.
movie off the ground.
Shucks.
Yeah, which
Gosh darn.
is, after watching this movie today, I feel like is an absolute travesty.
Yeah.
That they did not make their version of Spider-Man.
Agreed. Can you imagine the swinging from the web? Oh.
God.
Back then, fantastic.
This movie.
Yeah. Fuck this movie?
A little bit.
Kinda, yeah.
I look, I mean, I'm gonna flat out go right now and say that I weirdly loved this movie.
I didn't mind it as much as I thought it was going. I was going
That's
to.
good
Yes.
to hear, because you are.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Captain America is literally
Everywhere.
everywhere I look in your house.
Yeah.
There's Captain America something.
I'm a bit of a fan.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a fan.
I think it's weird that you're wearing those Captain America underoos.
Listen,
And
I've had
nothing
those
else?
for a long time. I try to.
Shit.
I don't know, man.
Listen,
this movie is kind of bananas from the get-go, because I don't think anybody who was writing the script really read the comic books.
Well,
or they made so many changes that I don't know why they made these changes.
so script written by Stephen Tolkien.
Yes,
And Lawrence J. Block.
right. And they didn't really do much. I mean, they've done stuff after this, TV movies and series, but nothing really to mention.
Lawrence Block
Yes.
wrote Tobe Hooper's Funhouse. So
Okay. I'm so sorry.
I think that's one of those things where they didn't do much after. Well, I guess Funhouse came before this. So okay, you know what? You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, because I was about to flip
Yes.
this table over
Yeah.
to get at you for that.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I pushed your ire.
that's okay.
There.
That's
Oh.
okay. We just,
Yikes. We found where the line is.
yeah. Don't fuck with Funhouse.
No, of course not.
And directed by Albert Pune.
Yes. He was in the documentary that we talked about in our pilot episode.
Yeah, and he had this really interesting story about how he was hired to finish Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yes.
Because Canon ran out of money for special effects.
That's right.
So they were like,
do something where every third scene should have special effects, but doesn't.
Does not anymore.
That's a difficult place to
be.
Put a director.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair.
That's not fair at all.
But he seems like a guy who would have been up for it, though. Like, he would have been like, we'll do something to repair this movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and for that he was given Cyborg to direct.
Yes.
He directed this movie called Vicious Lips, which is about rock aliens.
Cool.
He also directed, I think it's, what is it called? Alien from LA, which was a Canon film starring, I believe, Kathy Ireland.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was actually featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
No, they did that one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Am I right? Is it Kathy Ireland?
Kathy Ireland, yes, sir.
That's what Yep. I pulled all that from memory. I just want to point out.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
I'm disgusted with myself right now, to be honest.
No, you shouldn't be, because I'm proud of you, but you really shouldn't take my word for anything. No, he's, funny enough, he's actually announced that he's going to do a somewhat sequel to Cyborg, called Cyborg Nemesis: The Dark Rift.
I did not know that.
Yes. Well, it's just announced. It's nothing in written in blood yet, or City of Blood, which is what he's going to do next.
Blood.
Yes. But Albert Pune has done quite a number of things. He's worked a lot over releasing a movie a year or more.
But they were all like straight to video, right?
Straight to video, of course.
Like,
but
Captain
that doesn't
America
mean that he's
sort
not
of Sorry, go ahead.
No, that doesn't mean he's not working.
He is working.
Yeah.
But what? Like, Captain America was probably like the last thing that he did that was like I shouldn't say like a real movie, because they're all technically real movies.
But they got a wide release or something like that.
Well, Captain America, we should say, didn't even get a wide release,
right?
Until 2011, when the Marvel Captain America came out.
The first Avenger. And he actually took it on tour.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Which I didn't see, and I feel I wish I was there.
Do you think he really brought it to L.A.? Come on.
He must
I'm just kidding. Of course he would have. Yeah. No, that would have been prime time.
Everything. I would have loved to have seen that.
He probably did a talkback afterwards, just ripping apart Canon,
No, I think he loved Canon, because he worked with Canon several times.
That's true. But he did have some complaints. Of course, he was saying that sometimes there was not any money in the bank, at all.
Well, we should be honest about this, because this wasn't technically a Canon film.
That's true.
This is a 21st Century film, which is the company that Menachem Golan
split off.
Yeah, started after he and Yoram split up.
But
it's still, to me, it's
the
still
essence
canon
of canon. Absolutely.
Which is why we are discussing it here.
Indeed. This has a crazy sort of all-star cast.
Yeah.
Oddly. First of all, Captain America, Steve Rogers, is played by a fella who's actually still working, named Matt Salinger. And if that last name sounds familiar to you, it's because he's the son of J.D. Salinger, author of Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
And I want to point out, you said all-star cast. I don't think we should say all-star cast.
I'm wrong.
Run out of the gate with that.
No.
But,
true.
But you're right.
I just wanted to start out with him because, and that is, name cred is something.
Totally.
But let's go through a couple of the people who do have big name cred.
Well, we have Ronnie Cox, who I mentioned earlier to start off the podcast, and Ronnie Cox was the captain in the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Sure.
He was in RoboCop.
Yep.
This is just... he's in hundreds and hundreds of things.
Of course,
he's one of those guys that you know.
Mm-hmm. He was also in Deliverance.
Yes.
With
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty.
Also...
plays his best friend in
this movie, in Captain America. And Ned Beatty is an Oscar winner.
Oh, yes.
I believe he won the Oscar before this movie. So this movie technically had an Oscar winner in it, which is one of those things where I just want to pause right now.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about that. Also in this movie are Darren McGavin and Melinda Dillon,
who are the parents in A Christmas Story, which I absolutely love that movie.
Yeah.
I found it actually later in life, funny enough.
Really?
I didn't grow up with it because my dad thought it looked hokey, and then we watched it when I was late teens, and he was like, my God, this is my childhood. We're never not watching this again.
That's hysterical.
It's him and his brother Tom. Are
the
kids? Yeah, absolutely.
Wow,
it's
that's
crazy.
amazing.
And the mom and the dad were definitely my grandparents.
Interesting.
So cool. So
that's
fun.
So interesting.
But these, Darren McGavin, I really enjoy every time I see him and stuff.
And I got to be honest, Melinda Dillon killed it in this movie.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was one of the things that scene that she has where she's talking about him going away and what happened with his father.
Yes.
And we get this movie is insane in that, like, we have no background on who Steve Rogers is in any way, shape, or form. Well, he is polio. And he was one of 600 applicants.
Right.
And he was the winner chicken dinner.
Did they do a lottery?
Well, they said that he was the guy they picked.
Okay, sure.
And his dad was like a soldier?
A soldier. I think it sort of implied that he had died when he was real young.
I think it was World War I.
Really young,
yeah.
But that means that they sort of hinted that he was around 22, right?
Yeah.
At one point, we did a quick math. If he's the same age as Bernie,
who is our Peggy Carter?
Carter. Well, based on her and another Bernice something. I can't remember. She's a character from the comics.
Okay,
but it was sort of a combination of the two. But yeah, we did the math because she's older in the later in life, and she was like, I waited for 16 years, and I was 38 years old when I married, and he was like,
yeah.
You waited for 16? Yeah.
So she was 22. So he was about 22.
He was about 22.
He looked like he was 47.
Oh my God, right?
The actor, I mean, you looked it up, he was only 30, but he looked like he was...
Well, he probably was shooting at 28 or 29 if they were shooting this.
But he looked like someone's grandpa.
Yeah,
right?
He did.
He looked old.
He was... I don't know, and that's the weird thing. Sometimes people look super, super young. Like, look at... John Stamos was like 25 when he started Full House, and he looks 35. But then he ages... and he still looks 37.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. But I don't know what that was about in the 90s.
I think what happened is Matt Salinger is actually John Stamos' Dorian Gray. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, that would make sense because I've seen him. He looks rough.
Aging for John Stamos is what's happening.
And did you know that J.D. Salinger actually penned Picture of Dorian Gray? He wrote that under a pseudonym. He didn't actually. It's a much older book. That was kind of the... Stop it. Don't stop looking at me like that, please. I know that it wasn't him. Hey, this is making fascinating podcasting. Just you glaring at me. Listen.
So I think maybe we should talk about... I was going to say plot of the movie, but I don't know if that's a word.
Well, I just want to start out because it does start out... It starts out in Italy, first of all, and they are very sparing with the lines that they decide to put subtitles on. There's a bunch of kids like yelling at the beginning, and they're rushing through, and they look into the window, and they're saying something, and we don't get that.
Nope.
And then we go through the window, and this little boy is playing piano with his family all around, and they're recording his playing, and they all seem to be appreciating it. And there's no lines still.
Well, they're all speaking. It's just that none of them are subtitled.
Yes. All in Italian.
Yep.
And then they blow the wall open, and then somebody says, "The boy, take care of the others," or something like that, and that's subtitled in quotation marks.
Yep. In quotation marks, which was incredible. All the subtitles in this movie were in quotation marks, as if we didn't know that, like...
It was like they were sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boy.
The boy.
Someone get the boy.
And the weird that's the weirdest start to this whole thing.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
Oh my god.
What?
Was the subtitles only the German when the German soldiers came in? Were the Italian subtitled at all?
Holy crap, no.
Or were they only subtitling the Germans?
No, because I heard other lines that I recognized. I spoke 4 years of German in high school. There were things that they didn't subtitle.
Okay.
There was a lot of stuff that they just chose to be like, that's just conversational, right? Nope. Not everybody gets those.
Well, what I actually thought, though, was interesting is, like, I understood everything that was happening in context.
Well, of course, yeah.
And the only thing that I felt like they subtitled were the parts where it was like, you have to know what this is. Almost as if they were going to just not do subtitles. Yeah. And then they were like, fuck. We need to...
I guess we have to push the story forward without, miming it.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think my favorite line that they didn't subtitle, which I wish they had, was Frau Doktor.
Frau Doktor.
Which I guess would mean
Mrs. Doctor.
Mrs. Doctor.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Or
Lady Doctor.
Lady Doctor. Yeah, because Frau means woman or Mrs. whatever.
Oh, can we actually try something real quick?
Sure.
I think I want to do something right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm throwing this at you on air.
Okie dokie.
I want to describe the movie.
Oh, please.
Because I think you, as a Captain America fanatic,
will cringe a lot.
Should tell me
what's wrong with it.
Why that is insane.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Excellent.
Does that sound like a plan?
I love it. Yes.
Okay. So the movie starts off, again, we're just going back, in Italy.
Sure.
The Germans capture this young boy who's Italian because he's super smart.
He's a prodigy. Yeah.
He's a prodigy.
And not just at piano, I guess.
But just everything in life.
Apparently very smart, yes.
And they force him to become the Red Skull.
Right.
We cut to 7 years later.
Where he appears to be 50.
Yeah, where he appears to be 50. But the lady doctor who made the young boy into the Red Skull escapes.
Right.
And then she escapes to America, where she gets Steve Rogers to become Captain America.
Captain America, yes.
And then there's this moment where she is killed by a German spy.
Right, where he basically does a down low, too slow, Heil Hitler, and then shoots her in the...
Which actually was... I gotta be honest, like, that was awesome.
That was intense, yeah.
That moment was so cool.
Yeah.
They send... Because she dies, she's the only one who knows the formula to make people become, like, super soldiers.
Right.
Steve Rogers finds out that he is the only one who's going to be a super soldier.
Right.
He gets sent to find Red Skull and kill Red Skull.
Sure.
And
because he's the only one who can stand up against him.
Red Skull kicks his ass and basically ties him to a missile that he aims at the White House.
Yep.
They launch it to the White House. Apparently, Steve Rogers just is chilling out on this thing all the way until just before it hits the White House.
Yeah.
And there's a little boy there who sees him, and Steve Rogers is like, oh shit! At the same time, Steve Rogers, like, kicks the fin of the missile.
Sure.
Which shoots it up into the air.
Spins around,
and then it lands in Alaska.
Yep.
Makes sense. Freeze him for 30, 40, 50 years, right?
Sure.
So I want to stop right there and just be like, what did they fuck up?
All right. He's from Brooklyn. He's not from Redondo Beach, California.
Right.
Also, the Red Skull is a willing participant and a crazy Nazi. He's a German. He's not Italian. And there was no reason for him to be taken by himself, because actually there's apparently some deleted scenes in this that would actually have made this movie much better, where they fuck with the mind. They torture and brainwash the kid.
Oh,
which makes sense, because we cut to 7 years later, and now he's evil. Just because they injected him with the serum, that serum didn't make the rat more evil. They just it just made the test rat at the beginning. It just made it all.
I skipped
strong
over
and
that
red.
part, but
it's fine.
We'll
It was a test. But I don't think that it made him on the side of them. They would have had to do something to...
Right.
If they were trying to say, well, he's more sympathetic because he's this forced to do these evil things. But it seemed like he was doing them all on his own. Also, he got shot to Alaska because if they're launching him from Germany, they're probably only going to put enough... fuel in the rocket to reach Washington, D.C. And that's another 3,000 to 5,000 more miles that they would have to travel if he's going to end up somewhere along the Alaskan-Canadian border, which we find out later because he runs across it.
Yeah, he runs from Alaska
to
like northern Canada as if he's just going to, like, this is after he's unfrozen.
Yeah.
As if he's just going to run to the United States.
Yes.
Red Skull has a daughter who he sends to go kill Steve Rogers.
Yep.
Because they took a picture of him in the ice.
Or running away.
Running away.
Running
that
out
is somehow, like, in the newspaper.
Yep.
Which Ned Beatty is now a double Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
Which he was one of the
children.
He was the friend
of the child who grew up to be Ronnie Cox.
Who grew up to be the president
of the United States. The child who, I'm so sorry, I should say that the child who Steve Rogers saved just before the missile hit the White House.
Right. Which made no sense why he was outside of the White House either at 4 a.m. or something like that.
Pictures. He was obsessed with the president.
He was like 8.
President Roosevelt.
He gets launched up to there. What else didn't make sense? Oh my God, when he cuts his hand off.
Oh yeah, Red Skull just cuts his hand off.
Like, they're launching the missile, and Captain America goes like, shouldn't have gotten so close. He grabs Red Skull's hand, and Red Skull is going to cut Cap's hand or something. Just to get it right.
The whole idea was that Red Skull was going to cut his own hand off.
Really? Because he missed it. No, I thought that he was going to cut Steve Rogers' hand off.
That was not clear.
Oh, because it like shifts at the very last minute, and then he's like, no, because of course if he has a hand cutting knife, he's gonna cut the other guy's hand, not his own hand.
I don't know why he just didn't stab that thing right in Steve Rogers' gut in that moment,
right?
To get his own.
Probably
hand
would
back.
have shocked Steve Rogers a little bit.
I mean,
I also like the fact that they say it's the 90s, and yet he is fighting with a prosthetic. Usually whenever we see the Red Skull later, he's fighting with a fully opposable prosthetic that does not look at all like he's a
supervillain.
He's a supervillain.
He's
That's
a
right.
supervillain in a comic book movie. Of course they fix his hand.
I don't know. One of the interesting things was when they do the tests on Captain America to turn him into Captain America, it looked significantly similar to the MCU version. There was the little bit of a theater and the machines shooting at him. Obviously it didn't enclose him or anything like that, but they were all sort of standing around, and it kind of happened in the same exact way where they kill the inventor. And it was interesting that they went with a woman. Because in the comic books it is Erskine. It's what's his name? Stanley Tucci.
Oh,
yep.
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
Stanley Tucci played that part. But in this one, we get Dr. Maria Vasily.
I don't think they changed it to a female for any
progressive
reasons.
No.
Although this does pass the Bechdel test. This movie passes the Bechdel test, which is really...
That is fascinating.
Odd.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that they changed it to a female.
Yes.
Because she was very motherly.
Oh,
there was a maternal instinct for the boy.
Yeah.
Remember, she saw the young boy and she was like, I can't do this for him. I mean, it was all in Italian, but I assumed what she was saying was...
This is monstrous.
It's monstrous. He's a young boy. I was going to do this for somebody who's a willing participant.
Yes.
But this young boy does not seem like a willing participant.
I get that. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's probably more sexist than not.
Than we
really.
think. Yeah. It just it's odd to me. I don't know why they made it not just 2 superpowers, instead bringing in the Italian side of things. But whatever.
Well, there was a lot of weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it was just some of the things seemed highly questionable.
Yes.
As far as like the decision making process. And once we're in the 90s. So going back to like what happens, right?
Yeah.
Cap is running across the Canadian border.
Sure.
And like all of a sudden, both the Red Skull's daughter shows up to kill Captain America. Right at the same time, Ned Beatty's reporter pulls up in a pickup truck.
Sam
the reporter, and like She's shooting at him.
Yep.
He hops in the pickup truck with
Because
Ned
he's
Beatty.
like, hey, come on.
Come on.
I'll save you.
And they're driving away. This actually I thought was like a brilliant moment in the movie.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
where
go ahead.
he's sitting in the pickup truck,
Yeah.
and he does not realize that it's now 1990. And Sam, Ned Beatty's character,
Is trying to explain that.
is trying to explain that it's the 90s, and Captain
Yes.
America's like, I've seen fake things like this before. And then what happens is...
There's a couple of insert shots.
There's a couple of insert shots. First of all, Sam starts pressing record on a tape recorder. And on the tape recorder, it says made in Japan.
Yep.
And then Cap notices that he's driving a Volkswagen, which is made in Germany.
Sure.
Which were the Germans
the
and the
Axis power,
Japanese
yeah.
were part of the Axis powers in
Exactly.
World War II. So Captain America thinks this is a spy.
A very bad spy.
A very bad spy, probably. and I just thought that was like a really well-written moment.
I absolutely enjoyed that. Yeah.
Clever, smart, well
Yep.
put together.
If Matt Salinger had been more charismatic, I think he definitely could have sold the distrust and stuff. It's interesting that they didn't give him a bunch of lines.
No, they did not.
And I think that would have been interesting to have him noticing that while he's carrying on sort of a tentative conversation with Sam, but it still reads. I would have done the scene differently,
Totally,
but I
as a
like that
writer.
aspect
But
of
yeah.
it. Absolutely.
Smart.
Yeah.
And then Captain America does this amazing thing where he's like, oh no, I'm sick. I
gonna
need a
be sick."
moment. And he gets out of the car and he walks away from the car. Ned Beatty comes out to check on him. And when Ned Beatty comes out to check on him, he's Captain America, so he runs faster. He runs to the car, hops in and drives off.
And he doesn't even punch Sam.
No, not
Thinking
at all.
that he is some sort of spy, he just runs away.
He runs away, just really slow.
Yep.
Because Ned Beatty, who is full-on older Ned Beatty.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
look, I'm not a skinny guy, so I feel like I could say this about Ned Beatty.
Please.
He was totally pudgy Ned Beatty at this time.
Yeah, of course.
And Ned Beatty, like, practically catches up to him. without much of, like, an issue
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I mean...
At least cut to a different shot.
right.
You know, because
Right.
it is just a big wide shot of him coming out to the thing. How are you doing? And then he just breaks. I feel like if we were doing one of those movies, like the superhero movie or the date movie or
right.
teen
Yeah,
movie,
yeah,
you know,
like,
all those.
Not another, epic movie.
Exactly. If we were doing the superhero movie,
Aaron Seltzer and something... I can't remember the other guy's name who works on him,
but that's how he would run. Like that
Yeah.
would be a laugh line because
Totally.
it is. I burst out laughing.
I laughed.
I was like,
laughed
wait.
too.
See, here's the thing about the character. Yes, he's not a soldier, and they don't give him any time to develop his soldier
There is
skills.
no training in this movie
at
at
all.
all.
They just drop him off. His first thing is to take on the Red Skull, and they drop him in with nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe
That was actually a joke in the movie where he was
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
I wish I had some time to train.
Yeah,
And they were like,
about a
anyways.
month, maybe. Yeah, that was bizarre because you can make a super soldier, you can make somebody strong, but they can't do anything if they've never fought before,
Right.
Or thrown such an unorthodox weapon as a shield,
Yeah.
like an attack shield. That really doesn't exist
Yeah.
in real life.
It doesn't?
I don't know.
What are you
maybe
talking about?
I've seen too many.
It's there's one right here that I'm pointing at
That's true, and we are going to attack each other later
with that shield.
That's going to be super fun.
I feel
Cannot
like we
wait.
oh boy.
Yeah.
This movie was nuts. Okay, so
yeah.
to give like the very quick version of the rest of the events of the movie.
Please, because
Ned, so Ronnie Cox's character, who's a little boy, eventually becomes president of the United States.
That's right.
He is flying to Italy because he is doing, what did he call it?
some-
Environmental, he created like environmental guidelines, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
In that it was basically like a climate change proposal.
Oh yeah,
that
and he was
he's-
like, everybody has to cut their emissions by whatever
90%.
90% by in 6 months.
In 6
though.
months
That
trying
was
to get
insane.
them. Yeah, it was nuts.
Ronnie Cox is wonderful.
Ronnie Cox was great.
He's so fantastic.
He was everything.
He's awesome. He goes to Rome and
Gets kidnapped.
they kidnap him.
Basically, it's kidnapped.
Yep.
All at the same time, they start looking. They meaning Red Skull's daughter.
Sure.
Because Red Skull at this point is like a famous businessman. So they eventually kill the Bernice
Bernie.
and her new husband.
Sure. I don't remember. No, she doesn't. They don't kill the husband. They kill
Sam too. They kill
Sam.
Ned Beatty.
That's right.
They shoot the husband.
Yeah.
And then they kill Bernice.
Yep.
Who is Captain America's like love interest.
Yep.
And lo and behold, Captain America finds Bernice's daughter Sharon,
Sharon.
played by the same actress.
I don't know why.
Which was incredible because they did that like Back to the Future thing where
Yep.
like there was old Bernice played by a younger actress in like old age makeup.
Yeah.
And
Kim
herself
Gillingham,
as like a daughter.
who had the most 90 blonde hairdo.
Oh yeah, I mean she
Holy
looked like
crap.
Lori Petty, like prime Lori Petty with like the short spiky blonde hair.
Exactly.
She looked great. I mean, I got to be honest, like,
yeah.
that haircut looked great.
I mean, fitting for
Fitting.
Redondo Beach.
Yeah. Maybe that's better.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Anyways, and Captain America and Sharon, who's the daughter of Bernice.
Yep.
Basically, just go on a
They're
trip to
let's go to Italy.
They get to Italy. There's a bunch of weird shootouts where Captain America does literally nothing heroic except for save two kids.
He pulls the I'm feeling sick again.
Yes,
on
he does
Sharon.
in Italy. I actually, again, I thought that was great writing. That he pulls the same exact trick twice.
Callback.
But then she pulls it on him later on.
Yeah. So rules of three. It's fine.
When she pulled it on him, I was like, this is special. This movie is special.
And the third time was actually to save him. She was trying to like distract the baddies from him getting into the castle, I guess.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
something like that. So, and it worked.
So the president's in this castle, Red Skull's castle.
Yep, their
She's
intent.
in Red Skull's castle.
Their intent is to inject a mind control chip into the president so that the Red Skull can control him.
Red Skull, by the way, has orchestrated the assassinations of Kennedy,
both Kennedys,
and
Martin Luther King,
Jr.,
which cost $22 million.
And there was another assassination that he orchestrated.
I think there was.
Malcolm X, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, he just orchestrated all these assassinations.
Some of the assassins who murdered these historical figures were rumored to have kind of mythologized Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, interesting.
Which is super weird because
J.D. Salinger,
his
and
son,
Matt
was
Salinger,
yeah.
Oh, that's a weird connection.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre?
That's a weird.
That's what I heard.
Theorist connection.
But there's that fun time.
Did you also know that J.D. Salinger wrote Picture of Dorian Gray? But on Chung,
I had heard that somewhere on a podcast.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Real good one too.
Yeah.
So they get to they're in the castle.
Yeah, and it's just this really long, weird fight scene.
At one point, they do this thing where the president gets up and he pockets some acid.
Yeah.
Some acid, and then tries to
get out of his
cell. I mean,
like you do.
Yeah. There was a lot of interesting, weird, tiny cutaways, tiny little things that are like, okay, that's not Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, where it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
But it's a standard spy movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the beats that they're hitting make a lot of sense. If they didn't try to work this into a superhero movie, it would have been fantastic.
It would have been fine, yeah. There's actually another great moment with the president where after he escapes, they all are going to like, Red Skull and all of his men are like, come here, and the president like gets this realization where he's like, wait, you need me alive. Fine. And then he like jumps off the edge of the castle to kill himself. Captain America catches him and saves him. Conveniently.
Yep.
But I thought that was an interesting moment of like, it was smart. It was a really smart moment.
It was smart, and it was it had weight to it.
Yeah,
it wasn't just a worthless thing, which the catching of him, cancels out. Made worthless
because all of a sudden he's still alive.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a great gesture. It's fantastic.
He becomes the president is a fucking badass in this movie. Kicks some ass.
He uses the shield a couple of times.
He uses the shield.
Like he gets a gun and shoots some people and stuff like that. How does Sharon get out? Does somebody free her, or she gets out somehow?
I don't remember.
It doesn't really matter.
I don't remember.
You know what was funny though? I noticed how she had these lines that were ripped straight from comic books.
And it makes sense because Matt Salinger's personality was as flat as a comic book page. So That's what they did. It was completely.
This is. I mean, we're not
brutal.
We haven't been brutal to him,
No,
but
was...
I really gotta say.
So here's the thing I want to say. Like,
before I rip into him.
Long story short.
Yeah.
Just to skip to the end, really. Like,
please.
He basically, long story, he kills Red Skull.
Well,
who was gonna destroy Eastern Europe.
Yeah,
Western Europe.
Western Europe. He has a nuke.
Yep.
That's gonna go off, and there's a grand piano sitting up on the side of the turret with a nuclear activation device in the face of it.
Yep.
And he pulls it out, and it's actually kind of a cool, like, egg-shaped device that's, like, counting down, and then he's gonna press the button or something like that. A very a very regal sort of way to... It was very presentationally enjoyable.
You hit something on the head that I was kind of thinking of the movie, and I forgot, but this was basically a Bond movie with... Captain America. Like, that's all it was a Bond movie.
And kind of a bumbling Bond.
Yes. It was a bumbling Bond.
It was his first outing, but he was not as strong as Daniel Craig.
Right.
Daniel Craig goes through a wall in that first one.
Right. And Captain America, like,
sort of
goes through a wet paper sack.
Yeah,
and was like,
he rescues a couple of kids and then flips over a car.
Yeah. And that's basically it. I mean, like, It is
also,
what it is.
I'm pretty sure he decapitates the daughter because it never cuts back.
Yeah, it never cuts back to her.
It knocks Red Skull's body double.
That wasn't a body double. That was a mannequin.
That was a mannequin
doing cartwheels,
50 cartwheels down the hill.
It was a great moment.
And then the shield comes back, and she like turns around in a close up, and you do not see her again. Yeah, and we've seen it cut a gun in half. So
just previous to this moment.
Yikes. That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutally intentioned. I like that. Yeah.
So, I guess, I mean, now that we've discussed
and
the
then
film...
it kind of just ends.
It just kind of ends.
That's it.
He looks at the camera. He definitely looks at the camera twice.
Yes.
He looks at the camera twice.
He holds Sharon like they deserve anything.
Oh, God.
Any happiness whatsoever.
Oh, it was amazing.
God, they killed, like, except for the president still being alive, everybody that I cared about in that movie died.
Yeah.
Even Red Skull.
That guy was great.
Who was that guy? That was
Scott Pollan.
Scott Pollan, who also played one of the army doctors at the very beginning when he was being turned into Captain America.
Captain America, probably without the makeup, right?
Yeah,
so we can see what his real face looked like.
I'm sure. Yeah, exactly.
He was great.
Born in Ohio.
What?
Yeah.
He had a pretty good Italian accent.
I think so, yeah.
He had a pretty good Italian accent. So, I guess, when we look at this movie, I mean, it sounds like we're shitting on it a lot, but I want to talk about, very specifically, as we've gone through it, like, we're creating canon here, right?
Yes.
We're creating canon, and, like, what lessons can we learn from this movie? What did they do well? Because I have some things that I actually fucking loved about this movie.
Surprisingly, I didn't mind the sets. Like, there were some intricate sets, castles and shit like that they actually got well. I know that we might not be able to do that, but if we, shoot for the moon. That's what we're doing here,
Moonraker?
Moonraker. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing Moonraker.
I mean, because this was a Bond ripoff, so...
Yeah, obviously.
Maybe that's what we need to do is a Bond ripoff.
That's all we've learned.
Yep, that's all we've
exactly.
learned.
No, I think get a good leading man.
Yes.
Write a good leading man. Almost.
I actually think that's on. Write a good leading man.
Yeah, because it seemed like everything was happening to him rather than him actively
being a hero.
I've got this.
Well, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I totally dug about this movie was the actor buy-in, because I thought Matt Salinger was what he was.
Sure.
He wasn't great. But I think he bought the fuck in.
Yeah.
And I really think everyone else did. When Kim Gillingham as young Bernice, who was the love interest, when he was going away to war, she fucking sold that shit.
I thought it was going to be over the top, but every time she stopped right before it went too far.
Ronnie Cox was great.
And weirdly,
was great.
I keep thinking about her as two people.
Yeah.
Because her acting was better as the mom.
Yeah.
That was very bizarre. It was she wasn't as ditzy as the other characters. So That was the stretch.
Well, she tried to put like a 90s ditzy character. That's interesting. Yeah,
That is
that's
very...
exactly what she did.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking to myself, it's funny about that, because I kept thinking that Sharon was a terrible actress, but her
Right.
niece was a great actress.
She was fine, yeah.
They were the same actress.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
No, she did it right.
Yeah.
She
did it right. Ned Beatty bought the fuck in. Ronnie Cox bought the fuck in. Scott Pollan bought in.
Yeah.
Melinda Dillon was great. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one thing.
Commitment was not a question.
Commitment was not a question.
No.
Another thing that I loved was that it was legitimately surprising.
A couple of times, yeah.
The fact that the doctor, the observer, the German, the American, the guy we thought who was an American observer.
Yes, yeah. He wasn't Kirby, was he? Senator Kirby?
No, he wasn't.
No,
Senator
that was
Kirby.
somebody else.
He was somebody else. But he came in, and that moment when he shot the doctor and he said the Heil Hitler thing.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? They killed the fucking doctor? And like,
even though they do that in the first Avenger, I completely was surprised by it. I was like, yeah, sure, this guy's just another bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Why is he here? But we hadn't met everybody yet, so I was like, oh, sure, I don't know who he is.
Totally.
But it was great, yeah.
I thought anyone could die at any second, right? Let's do this thing about like anything can happen, right? Because there were major characters who I thought would survive the whole movie. And in the Marvel version, they would have.
They probably, yes.
And they just were like, we're going to fucking kill him without any care whatsoever.
Yeah,
about
they didn't, got
human
rid of...
life, really, in a way.
No, not really. Well, and had their stories been told? Had Sam's complete story been told?
And I thought that was
But you just cut it off, yeah.
Which is the way life works.
Yeah.
And it was shocking. And I thought that was actually, like... I thought that was genuinely surprising, and I really loved that. And the fact that, like, once that started happening, when Sharon was in danger at the end, or when the president was in the danger at the end, there was real moments where I was like, oh, they might actually die.
Yeah.
Which I loved. I love the unabashed conspiracy theories and like plot inventions, right? Like, and I think it goes with the same thing. Like, they just fucking went for it. They didn't care.
Sure.
There was moments there where it was, like, absolutely fucking ridiculous.
There were a couple of times where I wanted them to have connected some other dots.
Of course.
You know, there are points where it feels like somebody from a foreign studio got to this and, like, cut out 5 scenes between each turn.
That's what happened.
Of course it was.
That's exactly what happened.
Like, it makes no sense why everybody converges on Cap.
Yeah.
When he wakes up from Alaska.
There were definitely pieces missing.
There's no reason why... And, I mean, other than that picture that they take of him, that gets around the world really quickly. There's no compression of time, seemingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the passage of time, I think, is very important in a thing. And the believability that in the next morning... They find they release this in the Washington Post or something like that.
Yeah,
is unbelievable.
Washington Observer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, just I like the connective tissue.
Yeah,
you know, I wanted more of it because there was some of it.
Yes,
and it read through. You know,
and I agree. I think the connective tissue is important to like fill in some of those spaces. But there was a time where like the Red Skull said something like, I mean, I can't remember exactly what it was like, but he was like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use my secret device that blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
and go ahead and blah 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 blah.
Sure.
And it was just like, we're gonna fucking do it.
I guess so. Yeah. And why not?
What's interesting
because
was like,
he believed it.
Yeah, and like I kind of bought into some of those moments where I was like,
yeah,
okay, all right, I'll go for that.
There was a moment when Captain America meets the president to rescue him, and he's like, "They've still got Sharon, Cap." There was absolutely no reason or any time for him to have met Sharon or understand that she is related to Cap in any way. And I was like,
that's the connective tissue I wish that was there.
Yeah.
But that's different than what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think that's different than what I'm trying to... Because, like, what I was talking about was specifically, like, inventions. Like, these weird inventions or, like, the weird things that were possible in this world.
Yeah.
They just named it and we bought into it.
Sure.
I definitely agree. Like, that moment I was like, what? That's fucking dumb.
And that's like that's a rookie mistake. That's
totally.
Like, wait, they still have a woman under... Just change the line.
Yeah.
They still have a woman locked up below me.
Totally. I really dug the fact that they made the supporting characters badass. Like, the president was a badass.
He fought harder than Cap sometimes.
Yeah. They were smart. Like, Ned Beatty's character was smart and actually put the pieces together.
Yes.
In a way that wasn't... I mean, in some ways it was a leap of faith and a leap of logic, but in some ways, like, I could see the connective tissue that was there for some of the moments.
Oh, yeah. I just, like, it makes no sense that, like, he sees the picture of Cap, and then he is in Alaska. He clearly works where?
Washington.
He works in Washington, right? Yeah. And then he dies in Redondo. Sadly. Yep.
Yeah,
but no, he just appears in Canada. Just, like, no buying a ticket.
Nope, he's just there.
No quick, like, Edgar Wright, like...
Yeah, he's just there.
He's there, you know?
I think that should be the name of our film, is Dying in Redondo.
Dying in Redondo, yes. Yeah.
Dying in Redondo.
Writing it down.
That is actually going to be the name. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. That feels like a... Feels like a canon title. Dying in Redondo. I loved the jump cut edit between Red Skull shooting
when he's coming towards
and
or Cap's coming towards him
with the shield.
Yes,
and the way they
the
cut
intensity
that
of
together.
that.
Yeah, that was such a badass.
I'd
edit.
not seen that before. I was like, the freneticness of it was active. It was the most active thing that I've seen with just a cut of two straight, like, medium close shots. My God.
And it was edited, like, I think maybe the best way to describe it for those who are not seeing it, it felt like it was edited like Darren Aronofsky edited the drug sequences in Requiem for a Dream, where it was like...
Yeah. Oh, so much. Double time almost.
Like, you would see the gun shoot, and the bullet hit the shield, and then back to the gun shooting, and the bullet hitting the shield.
And then, like, almost a close-up on the eyes, and then a close-up on the eyes, but it was like, in between that, there was a gunfire.
Yeah.
And then the other... Yeah, it
was really cool.
And it only lasted probably 3 seconds.
Yeah. But it was memorable.
And yet it stood out, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those things where it was like, as a director, to like hold on to like...
Absolutely.
This is why I love movies like this. It's like, I don't think that a person... I mean, follow my logic on this one, but like,
please.
A person who knows how to make a movie perfectly is probably not going to edit that scene that way.
Sure.
Because...
they're not going to take the risk.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I feel like that's breaking some sort of rules of editing.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was just like, fuck it, we're going to go for it.
Let's try this. I've never done it.
It was badass.
Yeah.
It was really badass.
There was another thing that I actually have never seen Captain America do, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've probably seen the Cap movies more than you.
I've seen them all once.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't remember seeing him. He dives for the shield, picks it up, and then he starts getting shot at.
Oh yeah, and he's rolling on the ground.
And he rolls it, like, it looks super awkward for that time, you know, but he's doing it practically. He's actually, like, I've always thought about that, where just aim a little lower.
Yeah.
You'll hit his legs, he'll be out, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But in this thing, he actually used his shield sometimes as his only defense.
Yeah.
Not that, because we learn that he can get shot, and it takes a little bit of time for him to heal. It's not like he can just run through the pain or something like that. So
he's like half Logan from Wolverine.
Essentially, yeah.
Where he does heal himself, but it's not in any way, shape, or form like that quick. Like, it takes time.
Yeah. And a lot of times he seems surprised by his skills.
Yeah.
Like, he jumped over that car at the one point after he saved those kids. Stupid kids playing with that ball, and they saw the car coming
for like an hour.
Yeah, they were watching it while they were still pushing the ball
back and forth. It was amazing.
But then he, like, sort of jumps over the guy and punches him or something. Like,
he was just surprised that the take actually worked. He was like, "What? We got it."
Moving on.
Great.
Oh, by the way, the ADR in this. Let's learn to do ADR a little bit better than this.
Well, ADR City, ADR exposition over everything. There were times where we were
nobody's
looking at
speaking.
Yeah, but there's like there were several times where it showed Red Skull and like almost a close up. Mm-hmm. Clearly, his mouth is not moving.
I was like,
there are lines of dialogue happening.
There's no, like, reverse shot. You didn't get him walking the other, like, from behind, and you could have cut it in there. No, all right.
And there was a few music cues that were just rough, where it was like,
Laugh-worthy.
Almost as if they cut it together with music, and then they were like, let's recut it without changing the score underneath.
Yeah, just layer it instead of taking it out. Yeah,
It was interesting.
Some stuff that sounded like it was just from a comedy bin.
Yeah.
Or honestly, this is almost you could make a parody movie of this and not change a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think you could actually just rescore it.
Yeah.
Keep it almost exactly the same and just cut a few frames here and there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. It's ready to go. One other thing that I thought that was really amazing that I really loved was there were certain elements of it because it was practical. Because before it was the special effects age.
Yeah, of course. Miniatures, stuff like that.
Miniatures, but one of the things that I really loved was that realistic moment where Cap throws the shield to knock down the Nazi tower.
It's a tower, yeah, the lookout.
And he hits the shield, and the tower just sort of collapses.
Yeah.
But what I loved about that was, first of all, it collapsed in a way that was realistic looking, and it just went down, and it was part of it. I mean, like, I gotta be honest, in like some ways there was nothing spectacular about it, because it was just a tower falling because a piece of wood broke. Yeah. But I kind of love the fact, too, that there was like no explosions, there was no crazy stunts. It just, he hit the base of the tower, the shield cracked the thing, and it fell like it would in real life.
Yeah, the limitations were completely understandable for this movie. It wasn't like it was, oh my god, look at how bad that looks. I would accept this for a 90s movie.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely, because that was the weird thing, because I think he did a lot of, I think he probably made a very low budget look like a very medium-sized budget. Medium. But I do think, though, that there's something, because I think if that scene happened today, that shield would hit that tower, and that tower would, like, explode with flames.
Yeah, and the guy would jump off of it, and then
he'd like do flips,
he'd roll.
And then, like, and it would just be like weird and like unrealistic.
That was another thing that he did, where he kicked the blocks out from underneath the truck and used the truck as a shield. Held the shield in front of him from the other guy. That was. I really want to read the movie script. I would be fascinated.
Ronnie Cox said it was one of the best scripts he's ever read in his entire life.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've learned a lot.
I think we have.
I think we've learned a lot. And
I think there's, you have to have genuine surprise.
Yep.
You have to have the stakes.
People will actually die.
Yeah.
And for reals die, not
for reals die, like, don't be precious.
And also,
I think.
And absolutely,
understand what roles these people play in here.
Well, and actually, I was going to say that because I feel like a lot of the superhero deaths, a lot of deaths that happen in superhero movies, or even any movie today, the characters already sort of serve their purpose, and their storyline has come to an end. Yeah, and like we feel okay with them dying.
Yeah. Make it tragic.
Where in this, like I felt like there was a lot of life left to live for Ned Beatty's character.
Absolutely.
It was like one of those things where I was like, I expected him to be throughout the whole movie.
Me too. And who does it is Joss Whedon. In a couple of his series, where he just takes out major characters,
and you're like,
he's
like, shit.
Oh, now I have to, as a watcher of this show, deal with it just like these people are dealing with it. Yeah. Also, don't have your side characters just be helpless pawns.
Yeah, they can be badass.
Badass folk.
They can be badass.
Absolutely.
And dying in Redondo.
Well, that's just that's there. That's on the top of the inbox right now. That's what we're going to remember forever. I may rename this podcast "Dying in Redondo."
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We should shoot there sometime
and die there. I also think too the idea that, and again, this goes with like anyone can die, anything can happen. Like the plot inventions of just sometimes a character can name something. Believe. Yeah, I believe. And also find actors who fucking buy in and are willing to go the distance with you.
Who don't question, like, the way things are done or something like that.
Of course.
But just say, listen, we're in this world now. Yeah. Yes, there's a weird invention that existed at a time when they wouldn't have existed. Just accept
and not in a way that's dangerous to an actor.
Of course
like,
not.
In a way that's just buying in and, like, being there.
Exactly, because that is the world you live in. That's the reality.
Shit. I think we did it. I think we've learned some. We've
gleaned a lot.
Editing.
Yep.
Well, actually, the good editing.
Oh, yes, of course.
The good editing.
Well,
like what you can do
yeah.
if you just slam a few shots together, quick cuts.
Let's try that.
Like what
Absolutely.
effect that can actually have on you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try this stuff out.
I think so too.
We should...
We've gleaned some good lessons from Captain
think
America.
so. We're going to make a list. We may just keep referring back to this during our creation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
AJ, you as a Captain America fan.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Let me just ask this one question.
Please.
How was this experience for you?
If this was the first exposure to Captain America that I had as a child, I would not have been a Captain America fan.
There you have it, folks.
I'm sorry to say, but Matt Salinger just struggles through this whole thing and doesn't make Captain America the hero that he needs to be.
Well, there you have it. AJ's
yeah.
childhood was murdered today.
Yep.
I think this movie,
Yeah.
I think I've done my job.
I actually probably would have been the president by now. If I had seen this movie then.
Yeah, because you would have,
Yeah.
your Arrested Development would have not been so arrested. It would have been just straight development.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right. Like, yes, Senator.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, AJ, what are we doing next week?
Oh, gosh. So I had the decision, and now I'm going to come up with it. I think we're going to do a Chuck Bronson movie called 10 to Midnight.
10 to Midnight.
Yes, indeed, sir.
I'm so excited for 10 to Midnight. 10
I
to
am
Midnight is a
excited, too.
Charles Bronson movie.
Yep.
Where Charles Bronson is out to catch a serial killer.
Of course.
Who is, of course, as any movie from 1983 would have it.
Oh, no.
Slaughtering young co-eds.
Naturally.
And I've seen this movie.
Okay.
I saw 10 to Midnight in a movie theater at the New Beverly just recently.
Oh, awesome.
And it is amazing.
Good?
Look, I'll put it this way.
Okay.
I saw the movie, I went home and I bought the Blu-ray.
Holy crap. Okay.
It's insane.
It's nuts.
I love
Okay.
it. I do love it. I really do love it.
I'm excited. Okay.
Yep. That's it.
So
yeah.
that's the plan for next week. 10 to Midnight with Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Charles Bronson.
J. Lee Thompson is the director.
Ooh, hey, look at that.
J. Lee Thompson directed Guns of Navarone.
Oh, okay.
And he directed a ton of Charles Bronson movies.
Cool.
Including Keenjite, Forbidden Subjects.
Okay.
He also directed The Reincarnation of Peter Proud, which is not a Charles Bronson movie. He did Death Wish 4. He might have done Death Wish 3.
No, that was
3.
Winter, I think.
That was still Winter?
He did
Death
2 and
Wish
3
4.
at least. Okay.
He also directed Happy Birthday to Me, if you saw that movie.
No.
Which is a classic horror movie.
Goodness.
So yeah, J. Lee Thompson, great director. Awesome stuff.
Well, we'll see you next week for that. Please,
on Creating Canon, huh?
Heck yeah. Also, you can follow us on social media. We are at Creating Canon everywhere with CANNON, and the typical way of spelling creating. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and please email us any suggestions, comments, questions, fan letters. Oh, yeah. Actually, just those.
Captain America underoos.
Oh yeah, to replace the stinky ones that I'm wearing right now.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Creating Canon.
I'm Nick Pappas.
And I'm AJ. I thought you were Nicholas C. Pappas.
I know, but at the end I'm going to do something
you
different.
You fool! And I'm AJ Hamilton. Good night, and...
Good canon.
Good canon. Oh, we should have a cannon sound at the end.
That's ridiculous.
That's too much?
Yeah.
Fair enough. See ya!
Da-da-da-da! 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 Captain America!
That's definitely going to go under there.
Yeah, that's how it's going to end. It's just that. And now, blackout.